fresh start on an island. In the middle of the northern Pacific Ocean, a neglected resort hotel was built near a beach. Inside a dimly lighted suite, a young man suddenly woke up with sweat on his forehead while taking deep breaths each time. He clutched his head tightly with his fingers, trying to dig deep within his brain to stop the agony that assaulted him during his nap. However, he soon gave up his futile attempts and let out a long shriek, passing out on his bed with rolled eyes. His scream managed to alert the guards who were standing in front of the suite door. One of them rushed inside, heading towards the bedroom while holding a handgun. "Young Master Felix, are you all right?" he yelled. Yet he received no response, so he kicked the bedroom door open when he reached it. He took a quick peek inside the room with one eye. Sure enough, he saw Felix lying on his bed, unmoving above a puddle of sweat, covering the bedsheets like someone just urinated on them. If Felix's cousins saw the current situation, they would make sure to shame him to death. The bodyguard dashed forward and touched Felix's neck to check if he was alive. As he confirmed that Felix was not dead and probably just unconscious, he sighed in relief. He knew that the family would definitely get him executed if any harm befallen Felix under his watch. He called for the room service and ordered sternly, "You have 5 minutes to make a tonic that can help someone in regaining conscious. Go make haste." Felix, whose nose was assaulted by the nasty tonic, regained his consciousness and groggily opened his eyes. "Who am I? Where am I? Who is this man looking at me like I'm his son? Is he my father? But he is ugly. Am I ugly as well?" Before his thoughts jumbled more, a vast amount of memories flooded his brain with great momentum. Unfortunately, his already weak brain, after the soul possession, couldn't handle the load of them all at once. Thus, he fainted again. His head hit the bedsheet with a plop sound and rolled eyes. The bodyguard's soul instantly escaped his body after hearing that sound. He kept repeating in his mind, "I am so dead, so dead, so dead." He realized that Felix was probably poisoned. After all, no one faints for no reason, not once but twice in a row. He looked at the tonic in his hands like it was a divine artifact and placed it under Felix's nose while praying sincerely for Felix to wake up and not faint again. Felix smelled that nasty tonic again and woke up, but this time with clarity in his eyes. Memories of his past life started to rearrange themselves with an order in his mind. "I actually returned to my own body in the past? Is this another timeline, or was I sent back to the past in the same timeline?" His eyes widened in shock after understanding somewhat what happened. Based on his merged memories, he realized that he had either possessed his own version in a different timeline since their past memories, childhood, family members, etc. were exactly the same, or only his memories of the future were sent back. Whatever it was, Felix had died at an age of 40, which was considered still young since the life of bloodliners could reach up to 10,000 years. Now that he was sent to his 17-years-old version, he had 23 years of future knowledge to take advantage of. Only if everything was going to stick to the same timeline that he experienced. How can someone like me die such uneventful life? My courage of detonating my soul due to humiliation and wounded pride must have moved some entity into giving me a second chance in life. He smiled in triumph, believing in the bullshit he just thought. A second voice suddenly interjected itself while he was bragging. "Bastard, your shame truly knows no bounds. To even justify that your rebirth was part of your plan, you really need some serious help." Felix's grin instantly stiffened after recognizing this hateful voice. How could he not recognize the voice of the witch who caused him to undergo the most traumatic experience in his previous life? He soon shook his head in denial. "I must be tripping due to a mental shock I received when those memories flooded my brain." His eyes brightened up after remembering a condition he saw online before. It must be that mental condition, PTSD. I definitely got it after all the traumatic things I went through. He just kept convincing himself. Definitely must. It can only be this. Asna sighed hopelessly. Am I going to be stuck for eternity with this idiot? Felix reflexively cursed her back out loud. You are the idiot, you evil witch, butthole virginity harvester. The bodyguard, who stood silently through the whole process of Felix having a mental breakdown, heard him say this and felt the soul that just returned in his body escape yet again. The only thought that coursed through his mind was, "I am finished." The poison penetrated his brain and turned him into a moron. He could already envision tomorrow's biggest news in media. One of the Maxwell family heirs turned into a retard, and in some hidden corner of the internet, the disappearance of a hard-working man. Tears flooded his cheeks as he saw that image. Felix immediately realized that he was dealing with the real deal after reading her thoughts. Now there was no escaping from her, as she was probably sealed in his consciousness. Asna was pleased with his conclusion. "Felix, we have all the time to chat with each other, but now you must fix the situation outside. That poor guy is crying for some reason." Felix knew that she was right, so he focused on the bodyguard who was sobbing like his life was over. He got up for his bed and whispered in the bodyguard ear, "Jack, don't mention what happened here to anyone, as I tried some new drugs on the market that affected my mental state." He then walked to his closest and opened a drawer where he put his cash and grabbed $500. He returned to Jack's side and put it in the side pocket of his suit. "Go outside and tell them I was watching a horror movie. That's why I screamed." He patted his shoulder and added, "Before you go, take the bed sheets with you and get rid of them." Jack nodded his head absent-mindedly and did as instructed. Just as he tried to leave the bedroom with the sheets, he heard Felix's voice. "And send someone to fix the door that you broke." "Don't worry, young master. The door will be changed in 10 minutes. Asna saw that Jack had left. "Now that the third wheel is not here, let's carry on our conversation." "What's there to talk about, you witch? No matter what you say, I will never submit or cooperate with you." "My dear Felix, don't you already see what happened to us?" she explained with an unhappy voice. "Our souls were merged, forming one, and for some unfair reason, you have control of the main body. Meanwhile, I can only view what is happening from your eyes and not interfere. But I don't want for myself to be like this forever. And I guess you also want me to be gone as fast as possible, right?" Felix stood in silence for a while and said, "First of all, you fucking deserve what you got. And secondly, you are wrong. After all, why would I want to do you a favor and free you? We will be forever together, so just relax and enjoy watching me live my life." He chuckled wickedly. Asna did not get mad after hearing his claim, since she already expected this answer based on what she had read from his memories. She replied while yawning, "All right, as you wish. Do you want to play the long game? I will make sure to accompany you step by step. So don't worry and enjoy your life. If you could, that is," she murmured under her breath. After Felix heard the last part, his face became troubled with an uneasy expression. But shortly after, he relaxed his facial muscles and thought, "Bring it, you witch. Let's see who is going to last." He was standing still in front of the mirror as it reflected his above-average visage. Short, curly, electric blonde hair, blueberry eyes with dark eyelashes and thin eyebrows. Meanwhile, his nose was standing defiantly with red thin lips underneath it. On the other hand, his body was average in every way, with a height of 177 centimeters and a weight of 60 kilograms or 132 pounds. As he examined his youthful image, he rubbed his chin in wonder. Such a fine, noble face, yet why was I single my entire life? It must be because females feel inferior and undeserving when next to me, and that forces them not to have any feelings about me. That must be the reason. He praised himself shamelessly. Asna rolled her eyes and ignored this narcissistic moron. "If you find any errors," ads pop up.